How would you give feedback or advice to someone without sounding like you're criticizing them? Oh, this is a great one, Ruben. This is a great one. So people have to be ready. The challenge in a lot of personal growth is when you learn something, you want to share it with other people, right? It's like, man, this helped me. I grew so much. This book, this video, this conference, this way of thinking helped me so much. But if the person you're talking to isn't ready for that level yet, then your love will come off as judgment. It's love from your end. It's like you just want to see them win. You want to see them be more successful. You want to see them be happier. But it comes off as judgment. It comes off as judgment. So you have to understand where they're at. And at the beginning, you don't. You don't give them unsolicited feedback. You don't give them the advice unless they're asking, because it's better to just support them and cheer them on and be there with them and recognize that you listening, first off, is value. Just listening is value. Just listening to them is value. Just giving them attention is value, because nobody listens to them, right? And not judging them is already value. A lot of times people aren't looking to solve their problems yet. They just need to not feel so alone and not be in so much pain. And so you can help with that. Second is lead by example. The more you are doing something, the more likely they're going to want to be a part of it. If you go off and instead of focusing on trying to make other people happy and change their lives, change your own life. Be happy yourself. Live your purpose. What's going to happen is people will come back to you and say, how do you get that? I want to be happier myself. How are you so happy? How do you have so much energy? And that's the moment where you start giving advice. That's the moment where you start helping. Because now they're willing to actually listen. Unsolicited advice is going to come off as judgment. Even though I know it's not, because this happens to everybody. So you listen, you support, you encourage, you sit there with them, and you go live your life and go be happy and live in purpose. And they will come to you. They will come to you and say, how do you have that? I want that. What do I need to do to get that? And that's your window. That's when you give them the impact that you know you can give them. Drew says, I'm a big fan of the compliment sandwich. Yes, for sure. But that's once they're ready. If they're not ready for feedback, even if you give it in a compliment sandwich, they're still not going to listen and they'll still see it as judgment. Even if you give them 2 great pieces of compliments, all they're going to hear is a negative thing, right? How many times have you gotten 1,000 compliments and then 1 negative and all you remember is a negative? So they'll still feel judged. What's a compliment sandwich, says Ruben? That's when you give 1 compliment, then you give feedback, and then you give another compliment. Instead of just giving feedback, you say, hey, Ruben, man, I love what you're doing. You're so caring and kind and considerate and compassionate, right? Compliment. But you know what you could work on? You could work on X, right? Feedback. And keep doing what you're doing, man. I love it. You know, you're having a huge impact, right? Compliment. So think about the compliment is the bread and the feedback is the meat in the middle. Compliment sandwich.